All right. Folks, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody will stand, please. Face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Cochran.
Present.
Commissioner Story.
Present.
Commissioner Garvelia. Present. Commissioner Case.
Yep.
Mayor Messersohn.
Yes. Reading approval of minutes, please.
Item 3, the only thing, we were all present, so I think that first paragraph in the heading, after the heading, needs to be changed, or Mayor Messersmith calls the meeting to order. I think that may have been copied from the previous set, but outside of that, we should be good to go. So with that change, I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Commissioner Cochran.
Staying.
Commissioner Story.
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia.
Yes.
Commissioner Case.
Yes.
Mayor Messersohn.
Yes. Council, we are going to move down to 9C, which is the proclamation for Mr. Kinsman. We invited him to come this evening, and it's becoming an annual thing for us. AJ has one shot again this year. I had to reach out to your mom and dad to get the numbers. Last year you threw a 59, 5.5. This year was a 60 feet 9 inches. Was that at state? That was before state.
That was at the Chuckwater.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I thought that was here in town, so. And then he also was on track for discus before he injured his back going into state finals, or else we could be presenting 2 of these to you. And proclamation here just says, whereas hard work and dedication, sponsorship, sportsmanship, and talent have enabled you to earn the Class 2A state championship in shot put and winning the 2025 Class 2A state championship in shot put, is we're honored to Benton Consolidated, City of Benton, Benton, Illinois, city, local, state level. And then just down here, it says on this day, it says fix the seal of Benton on this day, June 9th of 2025. So we just want to say congratulations, well done. And you're going to ISU, Illinois State, and you were just telling us that you're going to go in August, but they have all the champions from across the country, one of the best shot put teams,
Michigan to Illinois.
Michigan, Illinois. So yeah, so we have a graduate at Illinois State, and you're going to do well there. And so we just want to say thank you, congratulations, man.
Appreciate it.
Well done, well done.
Congratulations.
Sorry. Public property report, Commissioner Garvelia, please.
Yes, the only thing I have tonight is one purchase order, and this purchase order is so that we can be in compliance in all of our buildings, safety compliance, and this is pointed out with an insurance inspection that we were not. So this purchase order is for 5 life pack AEDs at a price of $1,890.27 a piece, which comes to $9,451 in total. And then 5 AED cabinets, and those are $89 a piece at a total of $445. And 5 fast response kits, which are $10 a piece, or $50 total. So that brings the whole total to $9,946.35. And this price is reduced. It's not a full price because Damien wrote a grant for this, and so I'd like to make a motion this be approved so we can be in compliance with all of our needs there, all of our safety needs.
Second.
Commissioner Cochran.
Yes.
Commissioner Story.
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia.
Yes,
Commissioner Case.
Yep.
Mayor Messersohn.
Yes.
and that is all I have.
Excellent, good. Streets and public improvements, Commissioner Cochran.
Have no purchase orders. I've got full adjustments. I've got 6 of them. I understand they've all been approved. Do you want me to read each one of them off individually, or?
Just you can read their names
Read their
and
names
address.
off. Okay, we have Jim Betts on Licklider Street that needs one. We have Laura Stars at Lehman Street needs one. Jamie Tucker on McFall Street. Linda Volts on Carbon Street. Richard Avery on Whisper Way. And we have Bethany Easley on McLeansboro. I'll make a motion to approve those sewer adjustments for the pools.
Commissioner Cochran.
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Mayor Massersohn?
Yes.
Just make a brief comment. We have started our water project for, we called down to the high school, actually started on Burkhead Street. Been down there 2 or 3 days, got rained out a couple days, everybody's fighting the rain. First thing I said to our contractor was, why aren't we doing it for the high school first? Well, school's out, and he said he's going there next. So we're trying to get East Main in front of the gym, because we're going right in front of the gym and in front of the schools, you know, and we're trying to get all that in before school goes back, and we will. But he wanted to start over Burkhead Street. That's a real narrow street. So things are going good, and hopefully we'll get her done.
Get busy around the high school. They've got a couple of projects going on over
Yeah,
there.
I
too.
noticed that when I was there yesterday, yeah.
The steps at the Rich Aaron Gym, then the East Gym, and it looks like there's some abatement going on as well. So-
Yeah, I seen where the coach with the basketball camp, he had them to come in the back door, they can't get the front door, but that's why we need to get everything done. We don't need to wait until the
Yeah.
last minute, and
Second
getting it done early, you'll have a chance to settle a little bit, you know, get backfilled, and look like, you know, so, cause it's, a lot's gonna have to be open cut.
Right.
We got to tear that whole intersection up to make the interconnect there, and so, there's no way to get around having a mess. But we're gonna get it done as soon as we can. We're just tickled that he's here working.
And it's during summer. Not
Yes,
Not the first week of school.
exactly. We're
Yeah.
construction season, yes.
Exactly. Good. All right, Public health and safety?
Nothing tonight, no purchase orders, no updates. Department reports, we're testing fire department on July the 19th, Saturday at 8 o'clock. For the fire department and the police department, we got 4 interviews that's going on probably as we speak for the police department. So that's just the updates that give you all those.
So we've got people signed up.
Yeah, we got 4.
Good.
And we're 2 officers down, plus one that's on workman's comp,
I
so.
understand we're gonna lose our dispatcher maybe too.
She's testing, you know, so see what happens.
But she's one of the 4. That's
She's
interviewing
one of
today.
the 4. We got 2 from Marion, part-time from West City, and the secretary for public safety at the police department. So that's the 4.
Good deal, excellent.
That's all I got.
Accounts and finance? Commissioner Case?
One payroll in front of you dated for June 6th, which was this past Friday, totaling $94,927.97, with $70,717.97 out of the general and $24,209.94 out of the revenue fund, and make a motion to approve that.
Second,
Commissioner Cochran?
yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Mayor Massersohn?
Yes.
Item B, bills, you all have a printout of bills, you probably have signed those already. Bills for the past month total $342,836.60. That's $342,836.60. With $329,934.81 out of the AP fund, $11,928.29 out of community events, and $973.50 out of MFT. I make a motion to approve that as presented.
You second it?
I didn't know if we needed those amounts. Okay.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Yes,
Mayor Massersohn?
Yes.
sorry, hold on. Mine is abstain, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a reimbursement in there for banners, so I'd like to be hands off on that. Item C, who wants to go to IML? You wanna go to IML? Go to IML.
I don't know.
Neither of you wanna go? I don't wanna go, so let's tentatively do zoning and economic plan. Let's do Brian, Brooke, Lee, Tom, Kathy, and if Darty wants to go, let's send the treasurer too. Make a motion to send those
I'll
six.
make the motion.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Cochran?
Yes.
Commissioner Story?
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia?
Yes.
Commissioner Case?
Yes.
Mayor Massersohn?
Yes.
Item D was supposed to be discussion or approval with that, I have nothing for 7D tonight, so I have nothing else from my department.
City attorney?
Mayor, I don't have any updates. I've got some matters under you that I was asked to take care of, but we can do that when it items of that unless you want me to go ahead and do them now.
You go more, you want for two if you'd like to.
Oh, okay. Under 9, F, G, and H, there's 3 matters that, Mr. Calcaterra had for, the council tonight, and he's under the weather, so we can start with 9F. It talks about, an amendment to the resolution concerning Strong Communities Program grant. What that is basically is money to help with the, removal of houses that need to be, taken care of. We're going to get an additional up to $30,000, so I need a motion and a second to amend the resolution to allow the city to obtain up to $30,000 additional dollars for those demolitions.
I'll make that motion.
I second it.
Sorry. Commissioner Cochran.
Yes.
Commissioner Story.
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia.
Yes.
Commissioner Case.
Yes.
Mayor Messersohn.
Yes.
And then folks, on G, a discussion and or approval to rezone property located at 14507 Cutler Street. This is a piece of property that was previously annexed into the city. It was outside the city limits. The Ward family owns this property. And when property is initially annexed in, it's annexed in as A1. That's just how it all is, and then it has to be rezoned. And they are requesting this be rezoned as R5, which would be adjacent to its north neighbor, what I'll call the Mirror Lake, near where Commissioner Story lives. It's basically south of Mirror Lake. Mirror Lake's an R5 subdivision, as Commissioner Garvelia would know that also where she resides. So we need a motion that the planning commission was fine with this change. It was a request by the landowners, and Mr. Calcaterra agrees with all that. So I need a motion and a second to rezone the property located with the street address of 14507 Cutler Street from A1 to R5.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Cochran.
Yes.
Commissioner Story.
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia.
Yes.
Commissioner Case.
Yes.
Mayor Messersohn.
Yes.
And remember, the last one that he had tonight was rezoning property from R2 to B2, and that's at 104 Bailey Lane. They had a public hearing on that this past week. That is immediately east of where the current Hux is. There's not a site plan yet, but Hux's intention is to move parking and gas pumps, et cetera, to the east. And the planning commission was fine with that request by the current owner, which is a Michelle Daniel, to change that from R2 to B2, and Mr. Calcaterra was in agreement that needs to be done. So I'd ask for a motion
They
and a
haven't,
second.
they haven't submitted a formal plan of what they're gonna do
They don't
yet.
have an actual site
They don't
plan
have a site
yet,
plan.
but this is part of the sell.
Part of the whole, remember, they get this and it goes, they'll submit it to us.
Obviously, if this wasn't done, that would have changed their
Yeah,
plans.
yeah, okay, they're gonna do this first. Okay.
This would allow the property to be
That's
sold with the current owner from R2 to B2.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you,
We
Floyd.
change from R2 to B2.
Commissioner Cochran.
Yes.
Commissioner Story.
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia.
Yes.
Commissioner Case. Mayor Messersohn.
Yes.
And I believe that's all he had tonight, Mayor. I know you had that discussion under E on the surplus property if you want to.
Sure. Yeah, wait.
And,
We can do that. So under public affair reports, I've got a number of things to talk about. We mentioned earlier that the rodeo was a success. The weather held off, and thank you to so many people that were involved. It's hard to make a list of all the different people that made it happen. We were able to get the rodeo in, even get a concert started before it actually started raining. And you took a skeptical mayor, made him a believer out of it, because I honestly thought it was going to rain the whole night. I was pretty negative about it. I was afraid it was going to rain, so I'm glad it didn't. But it was an awesome event, and you can see in your packet there's a letter. I mean, she may have handed it to you together. There's an email from the Whippoorwill people just saying that their feedback was great, and they love seeing something in Benton, and it was done well enough, and the money came in close enough that it's something we're going to be able to repeat. And so we're already talking about looking at what this next year look like if you've got a year or more to plan for it. So that's kind of
Kind of
exciting.
reminded me of going to the old county fair, you know,
Mhm.
outside horses and
Yep.
cows and
Yep.
vendors and, you know, people walking around having a good time. in the summer.
It had the right vibe.
Yeah, it
So
sure did.
we just got to find a time of year where there's less rain.
Tell me about it.
One of the other things that you'll see in your packet is Jenny Wren approached the council a while back talking about putting in a small reading library. She emailed and said, as the park's looking close to being done, which our playground should be showing up by the end of this week, I believe, according to shipping, and that she's ready to move forward with putting it in. She recommended a wooden one or a plastic one. This wooden one that you see here looks like it's gonna be the best fit. There is some conversation about how we're gonna anchor it. She thought we'd have to cut the concrete, but I think we can surface anchor it. But my thought is we might put it right next to Mr. A, which I think is a really kind of a neat piece to that. So just a council update that we're moving forward with that, and hopefully you'll see that within the next 30 days going up as well. One of the other things that we got in the mail is, you all know that we did a solar sewer plant project. And just by way of update, our sewer bills, like our electricity bills at the sewer plant, somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000. This past, let's see, this is just April. So we've got April and May we can pull from. But just April was $2,600. So we're already starting to see savings at the sewer plant due to solar. And that was something that was done back in the last council cycle. So that's something that's been going on for some time, which is fantastic.
These couple of years.
Yeah, oh yeah, long ago.
We
Back,
approved the agreement shortly after this council was seated.
Okay.
yeah, that process has been going on 2 or 3 years before even any of us, so.
Seems great.
I met with Greater Egypt last week, specifically sat down and talked to him about West Main, and they're gonna look to apply for a SIF grant for us for West Main. And then they're also gonna work to apply for a road extension grant at the Airport Business Park with DECO. And so I'll keep the council apprised of that, but they came up here and they met with me. They're getting more engaged, they wanna be involved, they wanna be part of the solution, and so they're gonna be working hard to do what they can to help out the city. That's pretty much it under public affairs updates. Under item, I'm going to make sure I got my list correctly. Under item 9D, one of the things that I had mentioned at the last meeting was in regards to the conflict of interest ordinance. I was not at the meeting when the conversations were had and the votes were taken, and I said I wanted to bring this back. And I've spoken with individually and said I'm not expecting any, I just want to bring this to the council for some reconsideration and possible amendment. I feel like sometimes as a council, we take care of our citizens, we do the best we can. It's not usually what we do, but how we go about doing it and how we get there. And I put this on me, and I feel like I don't do a great job in how we present things, how we engage things, even like as employees, how we roll things out. And I feel like this is one where I dropped the ball, and that's why I wanted to bring it back. And I'd like to revisit the possibility of making a small amendment to it. It's not a significant one, but if you look on the draft that it didn't print out the draft on the copy. Under 7, it says exclusions from eligibility. The amendment that I'm asking the council to consider is just taking out number 7. Nothing else major changes, but it's that small section. It feels so exclusive. And I've tried to wrap my head around it. And this was the part that I was going to vote because I was going to vote no on it. Chris worked really, really hard on this. He met with a lot of people, got a lot of feedback. He put, from the very beginning, I agree with this. I understand it. I see it. I totally agree with why we need to do something. I just couldn't get my head wrapped around number 7, and that's just me. So my question is to bring it back to the council for reconsideration of just removing item 7 in the conflict of interest ordinance and amending it to reflect that.
Mayor, when you say 7, do you just mean, it looks like the line is through the professional exclusion part? That doesn't deal with the personal exclusion part?
Correct. Just the professional exclusion part, yes.
Does that, is Reed's, question on that? Somebody that's in rental business or that buys property, are they in that too?
Currently, no. I mean, there are potential conflicts in everything that happens,
Exactly.
but we specifically went towards those professions that are listed in paragraph 7 because they stand to gain. 66% of what has went through that zoning and planning commission the last 48 months were tied to the sale of a piece of property. So those are the professions that stand to make essentially a commission, not a flat fee, to make a commission. Could somebody who rents or flips houses benefit? They could. We would expect a full recusal. However, I will say this, they're going to be like everybody else. They're not going to buy that property if it's not going to get rezoned. But I'm curious as to how many landlords have come to us for a rezone in the past. I think those would be statistics worth looking at if we wanted to exclude them as well. If there's enough of a conflict, I think we should exclude them as well.
I agree.
However, I think removing paragraph 7, what has it done? What has changed since the last time we opened up this ordinance? This ordinance passed 401 as is with paragraph 7. Why would we go back and why would we strike it if we were fine with it previously? That's my question. It was easiest to exclude those those jobs or those professions because they were the easiest to identify in a conflict area. Could we have conflicts arise on the airport board? Yes, we could. Someone who just deals with avionics software and all of a sudden we're doing business with them, that would be a red flag. We would never put our civil engineer on the planning commission as a whole because they stand to gain from it financially. So I think everyone in attendance understands my issue with striking paragraph 7. I will make a motion to get this an up and down vote, but I'm voting no to change this. Y'all are grown adults, you're elected to serve. If you choose to second it to get it a vote, yes or no, just remember, you're the ones that are gonna have to answer the questions as to why you changed your vote. When it was, again, it was unanimous, mayor was absent, but for those in attendance who could vote, it was a unanimous vote.
I would like to see that put in there as renters, that's owns property to rent. I think there's no difference to me than a real estate agent, that this person buys homes, flips them, and rents them out. I'd like to see that in it, that's all. But, you know, that's the only thing I see. I see that it's.
So you're asking for amendment of an addition rather than,
Right, yeah, just put
removal.
that in there in number
Which,
7.
which would you, to build on that, would you prefer drawing a line somewhere? Are you going to exclude those who say I buy a new house or I build a house and I rent my current property? Now, clearly I can't be on that commission as a member of the council, but say this is 3 years down the road, I'm no longer on the council, but I want to help the city with the zoning plan commission. Am I excluded because I have a single rental property?
Hello.
I think that's one that we would, I think before we would change it in that regard, I think we would need some additional data on that and some parameters.
Guys, there is if you'll note, it's not been asked to be stricken by the mayor. There is a paragraph in the top of page 3 that says the Benton City Council reserves the right to exclude any profession it deems to be in conflict with the goals of this policy. So if that becomes an issue, Commissioner Story down the road,
Right.
you could address it at that point. Maybe, you know, if somebody, and not that they're going to be, but if there's a man or a woman that's appointed in that and you find out that 66% of the time there's a conflict, then obviously that may be a time to do that.
Okay.
But
Not now.
but that's not been, well, you can do whatever you want, but I'm saying that's not been asked to be stricken, that you still have that right to exclude if that becomes a potential conflict. I just want you to be aware of that.
I just don't want to shortchange when we're gonna look at this down the road. You know, well, this guy done that, this guy done this. Well, it's not in this.
Well, and like I said, I thought it was easiest to define those because as we know, real estate agents, like, they never retire. Real estate attorneys, like, most attorneys leave criminal defense and doing things like that and handle more real estate stuff towards the end. You know, those were low hanging fruit. They're always making a commission. Like, this paragraph 7 deals more with helping future councils out than it does anything else. The same as the nepotism ordinance. We can expect councils to do the right thing, but
So don't they have to fill out a form like we do that we're not making nothing off of the city?
Yeah.
So to me, that tells me that real estate attorneys, more than real estate agents and brokers, they're not supposed to make money off the city. Is that
I
right?
mean, they can. There's a
But
limit to
don't
what they
don't they
can.
fill out a form?
The
that we
statement of
fill out?
economic interest, but no one fills out their statement of economic interest.
You don't know ahead of time,
factors.
Don.
Yeah,
You don't know ahead of time that you're gonna rezone a piece of property and then you're gonna get a commission.
Right.
I voted yes at the last meeting, but after listening to the presentations and everything, and all of these professions, they also have to, they have ethics training, and they would be at risk of losing their license if they, you know, we're not, being proper with what they're doing and not being persuaded by a vote on a board you know, they wouldn't jeopardize, I don't think they'd jeopardize their license for a vote on a board. And, these are the individuals who know more about real estate and, zoning than most of the individuals in our towns. And other towns have them on their councils.
This is
Other
more about
cities do
being
have them.
preventative than reactionary. I mean, again, what's changed? What has changed other than some coming up and rightfully, showing their displeasure for the ordinance? I mean, at least people are paying attention to what we are doing occasionally, which is kind of nice to know. But again, like besides that, because Commissioner Garavalia, I can say the same thing on the other foot. The amount of people that have come up to me at various places in the community and have said, why are people making such a big deal of this? They should be excluded. I mean, everybody with the exception of one that spoke 2 meetings ago had confirmation bias in the situation. They were either a real estate agent or a title insurance company or a broker. They had confirmation bias to it. They were essentially people who would be excluded by this ordinance, with the exception of Mr. Neese, who is just on that commission as an at-large member. Again, like, this is about being preventative, because as you can see, I mean, we've talked about it time and time again, we've put in a nepotism ordinance to be preventative, so we don't have to navigate those situations going forward. The council doesn't have to navigate those situations going forward. This does the exact same thing. Again, like, I'm friends with a lot of people who are excluded by this ordinance. Those who I deal with regularly have seen absolutely zero issues with this ordinance. Could be confirmation bias on that side as well. But I can tell you that the people who practice law that I've talked to about it, like, they're my friends, but I know that they really like to make money as well. So if they thought that this was an issue that would have affected their pocketbook deeper, I feel like they would have been much more vocal. I'll make a motion to amend this ordinance
Per the mayor's request.
per the mayor's request, but I will not vote yes on it, because nothing has changed since we approved this ordinance.
So, number 7's not gonna change at all. You're wanting,
We don't know, nobody's voted.
I know, but you're wanting to put these people back in, is that what?
No, I just don't want to be as descriptive as it is there. So, I mean, the ordinance in and of itself, and even the line on the last page, I think gives us enough comprehensive information without having to identify in paragraph 7 those 4 positions. And that's what I've wrestled with from the beginning, day one, and I keep coming around to it, trying to find different language that would be inclusive to those specific ones, and I just don't have it. And so I'm just asking the council to consider, keep the ordinance, keep the first sentence on the last page, just remove that specific part of that paragraph. That's all I was asking.
The last thing I'm gonna say, I've got a motion on the floor, but I wanna add, if this is how we're going to govern, at every time we do something and there's a little bit of backlash, if we're going to back off, this council needs to rethink their position as a whole. If that's how if we're going to govern to give everybody smiley faces and rainbows, guys, we're in the wrong business.
Well, this is
Now,
one reason why I wish we had public, people have an opportunity to speak before we vote on. They don't even get an opportunity to have a voice on anything until we've already taken action on it.
If I had been at this meeting when it was voted on, we wouldn't be sitting here talking. The main reason we're denied is because as a full council, and me as the mayor, I didn't have a chance to sit down with this council and have that conversation.
I agree to that point, I do.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to
I'm
revisit it,
just,
because I would have voted no that night.
We're here to serve the public.
Yeah.
The public should have a right to.
It would have been
voice.
4-1, is what it would have been that night,
I'm just,
potentially.
it worries me about putting somebody in there that's gonna be in real estate,
I agree.
you know.
Because
It is, I mean,
this excludes them. It opens the door, if we remove paragraph 7, it opens the door to put them back on the future council. Now, if the future council chooses to strike and completely remove ordinance 2025-01, so be it. That's on them. But guys, we approved this ordinance in its entirety.
Well, when someone is put on the zoning board, then is there anything that says that they are required to recluse themselves
No.
and then why don't we adopt a policy?
We do have it now in the conflict of interest ordinance with all of our advisory
But
boards and our city
we're
council.
not even allowing them to serve on the advisory board.
When they,
with this.
what good are they doing if they have to abstain or recuse from 2/3 of the things that are coming in front of them? Why would you even want to serve on that
Oh, I
council?
don't think it would be 2/3. I don't think it would come up that frequently that it'd be 2/3.
Even if
But
it's
they-
25%. That's a lot. That's a quarter of decisions that you're abstaining from because of potential conflict.
Sometimes you don't have a full quorum, you have a few people there.
No,
I was on that
I don't
zoning
agree
board
with
for
that.
5 or 6 years, and I think it ought to be left in there, to be honest with you.
So I have a motion to amend this ordinance per the mayor's request
I
to get it to a
second
vote.
I second it.
I don't know.
Commissioner Cochran,
No,
Commissioner Story,
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm confused. So your motion is to leave this in here?
My motion is to approve what is in front of you now.
To amend it.
Which is going to strike paragraph 7 from this ordinance going forward. Which means that it will be open
be open to.
for those professions to be on the zoning and planning commission.
With the council's approval, though.
Yeah, the
Yes,
council has to.
it
is
approve
good. The
all.
council has to
Yes,
approve it
zoning
all.
board,
So it's
yeah.
not like that's it's not an
But
open gate.
This
Right.
is killing legwork before it ever gets to the council by this being in writing.
We have to approve people before they
Yeah,
can
they're
serve
right.
on us.
There's a vetting process to begin with.
Yeah.
That's why I left that sentence on.
It's already been seconded. It's a roll call vote.
Yeah.
Coy voted no.
Commissioner
Yes.
Garvelia, Commissioner
No.
Case, Mayor Massersohn.
Yes.
Did it pass?
No.
No, it did not. Under item 9E, discussion approval of designating city-owned real estate as surplus property.
That's 1403.
1403 South Main. And we have finally arrived at the point where the realization is we've not been able to find anyone to give us hard numbers, not been able to find anyone that's willing to give us a bid. And I think we've arrived at the point where it's time to move forward and begin to liquidate that property and make it available to whomever. We just need a motion and a decision, any discussion, obviously, to move that direction if that's what the council would like to do.
1403 has become a sunk cost fallacy. We have wasted countless money. The council as a whole, not those sitting at this table, but the council who chose to purchase that building without any type of inspection
I agree.
should be ashamed of themselves. Because it has cost, if you live in the city of Benton proper, it has cost you twice. You bought it as a taxpayer of District 47, you upgraded it, and you bought it as a citizen of the city of Benton. Now, I do not think that there should be any ill will towards the grade school in this at all. It's not like they got an offer, they got an unsolicited offer. If someone were to come up and offer us money for that thing as is, all day long, we're gonna take it. But there comes a point where we've got to stop dumping money into a pit.
Exactly.
I think that building is a pit.
We shouldn't have bought it in the first
I
place.
completely
I
agree.
throw that up to
It
the
should-
council.
So is there a
Not us.
motion?
So I
Not
make,
me.
I make a motion
It was before us.
to designate 1403 South Main as surplus
I'll
property.
second that.
And we'll let Mr. Calcaterra know to move forward with that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Commissioner Cochran,
Yes.
Commissioner Case.
Yes.
Story, Commissioner Garvelia.
Yes.
Commissioner Case.
Yes.
Mayor Massersohn.
Yes.
So what are we gonna do? We gonna start putting it up for sale?
Well, we're gonna put it in the hands of Mr. Calcaterra, let him take a look at it, see what makes the most sense, and we'd have some ideas of different approaches we could take, but we just needed to do this part first
Okay.
before we move forward. So from there, we'll get a better idea after that. Anything under miscellaneous business from the council? Okay. Old business, I've got a few things under the old business.
Okay. They'd be, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm gonna start.
So under old business, at the last meeting, we had some citizens come and express concern about properties in neighborhoods. Since then, I've sat down with Commissioner Story and the chief. We've got about 7 different things that we're actually working on. The chief has assigned the task force to start surveilling some of the properties that are of concern and addressing those properties. You sat down with the fire and police, and they're gonna be increasing the number of tickets. And you've even said that to the two gentlemen in the other room, which is Brian and Caleb. And like you mentioned, we're testing, the merit board's testing. And so we should have 2 new PD officers here shortly. Mr. Calcaterra is gonna become certified to be able to condemn buildings, which I know that's a conversation you had with him as well. And then, we are still working on cameras. The first set of cameras that we're actually working on today.
Put up really soon. I
Yes.
talked to Chief at the, Friday, I guess, and he said it should be soon,
Good.
so.
And then, so the first one's gonna go up at the Grand Street Playground, and that one should be up within the next few days. And then lastly, one of the things that we've talked about is bringing together a neighborhood watch. And that the city, like, neighborhood watches are usually started by people in the community, but how can the city walk alongside citizens and neighbors and help them champion that? And so we had a meeting last week. Hopefully we'll get a meeting in tomorrow before he leaves. But we're gonna sit down and start talking about what it looks like for the city of Benton to have neighborhood watch in some of these neighborhoods that are more challenging than others to address some of the issues that are coming up. So,
We talked when was it, last Tuesday or sometime, Lee and the chief and I, and they're all agreeance with it. There will be signs made, whether, I think the city should maybe come up with signs to post them. We wanna get a neighborhood watch. I'd like to have it all over town. You know, I think it would be a big asset to Benton. But, Lee and I and the chief are working on it. Illegal burns, Brian Calcaterra is getting me ticket books for everybody that does a legal burn. Your first offense, put it out. Second offense, you'll get a ticket. And then after that, it'll go up. So we're gonna straighten things up. We're really working hard to do that. And, they call me the illegal burn guy, cause when I smell something burning, I call. So anyway,
And
that's,
can they also be charged for a call when they go
it's
out
hard to
for a
charge
call?
them for a call when they're in the city of Benton, in the city limits, because they pay the taxes for that. So
They're already on duty
yeah.
per se.
we
Yeah.
can't charge them for
That's what
that.
fines
But we
for.
can write them a violation.
We can fine them.
Yeah,
We can fine them for the violation.
we can write a violation. And, we're really working hard to get these
And that's in the
houses
ordinance
tore
already.
down that
Yes.
people's
So-
living in, and it's a disgrace, you know.
and Brian has started the condemning process on that one property that was discussed at the last
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
So it just, when you go through the courts, it takes time, and that's a hard thing to do. I know that
Tom
you
can
and Brian are
vouch for
working on
this.
that.
He
so.
takes them to court and the judge slaps her hand with a $75 fine and said, there you go. You know, we got people living in campers. We're gonna work on that. We got them running off generators. They don't have no water, no electricity. We're working on that, really are, so.
I'm not defending the actions of those people, but they're still due process as well, whether
absolutely.
annoying or not, they are still due process as
Right.
citizens. So that's why it takes a little bit longer, other than
No, we know.
us just showing up and being
does.
able to demand
Yeah,
it.
it
'Cause
does. We just don't, our police officers can just do so much if the courts won't back them up. So that's a problem we have, you know, that, and we're shorthanded in the police department, and it's gonna get better soon, I hope, so.
Anything under new business from the council? No? Okay. Matters from the public. I know we have some folks here this evening. If you wouldn't mind standing at the podium.
Can we just come together, cause it's kind of.
She-
the same.
live
on the same street. We're actually addressing one of the properties you were talking about.
Okay,
I live next to one,
okay.
and I appreciate you, Mr. Stewart.
Yes.
My name is Sarah Nelson.
Since we have a number of folks here that need, so ordinance says about 5 minutes.
That's fine. Okay.
So if we can do that.
So my name is Sarah Nelson. I've been a resident of Buchanan North Buchanan Street for about 2 years. My mother lives at 307. I live at 310. 312 Buchanan Street
Mhm.
is a dope house. And I thank you, Mr. Story. My mother will be showing you photos. This is how they are living.
This is the back of the
This
house?
home is burned down. This home has drug addicts. Less than a year ago, a young woman overdosed in this house and died.
One in
They
the-
kept her body in the house, which
right
your
now, I
coroner
guess
said
it's
for over
just
30
like a
hours,
parking.
drug her to the front lawn, and then called the police and left. I understand the due process,
Mhm.
but you serve the city, you need to protect your residents.
Who's that?
I have been, since moving into my house at 310 North Buchanan on May 7th, I have had the police not one, not two, but 4 times. The very first time I had it, I had to call the police because the woman was out there screaming and you guys arrested her twice in a day. Then that night, and I have a video too to show you real quick of her screaming at the top of her lungs. As you can tell, I'm about to have a baby, I can't have that. Well, that very night, when I came home from work, this woman was beating on my door, moved all of her junk or whatever you call it to my porch, telling her to let me in my house. I called the police, they removed her. The next morning, the police were at this house asking if I'd seen her. And I said, what? Because she broke into someone's house at night. Took her to jail again. She was out the next day. Then a couple days later, I went to work. My brother calls me. They are on your front porch there charging their cell phones. Then I went to go to work a week ago and found an open dope needle sitting on my front lawn. I do not want the next time I have to approach this council to be a year or two from now when I have my child to look at you and say, my child just tested positive for HIV because he stepped on a dope needle because we can't do anything about this house. You guys have given them opportunity after opportunity. They lie and say they're fixing the house up. They are not fixing it up. They are meth addicts. They are drug addicts. They, in my opinion, they've lost their right to due process. They've lost their right to be treated fairly when they are jeopardizing the safety of that. The woman that lives next to my mom across the street has dementia and wanders out of her house frequently. What happens when she wanders over there? Or the children that live down the street or my child wander over there and they get hurt? This house needs to be condemned. This house is not structurally safe. What happens when the house collapses and our fire department is responsible for going in there and saving them? It's not right. I am so worried about my street and my community. We have an amazing street. All of our neighbors, we were even talking about coming and asking you guys if we could do a block party next year.
I love that
Because
idea.
everyone gets together. You know, we're not the richest people. We are poor people. I make $17 an hour. We work for what we have. But when I cannot have anything on my front porch, I can't have my electricity out there. I've had to put a lock on my front plug on my porch because they steal it. They go in my backyard. They steal my water to shower.
You need to, they're stealing your power and your water.
I've called the police multiple times. You guys have been out since May 7th, 4 times, and Officer Pemberton has been out multiple times, and he is the one that recommended me to come speak to you guys.
That they're stealing from you, so we've got to deal with that with the police officers. They're gonna have to go in and you got no trespassing signs up there?
Yes, I have them all over my property.
I'll talk to the chief tomorrow or.
And it's
This
been
one.
about a 2-year process now
Okay.
of you guys saying that you guys are gonna do something to condemn it, and every time he pulls this, and excuse my words, this bullshit, and says that he is gonna fix the house up. He has done nothing to fix the
Who
house
owns
up. I'm not sure of his name. I know his name is like,
His name is Darren. I don't know.
Darren.
He works at Hardee's up
he
in.
is a meth addict.
How do you
We
document?
know when they're doing I'm sorry, ma'am. We know when they're doing drugs there because you can smell it. I mean, alone enough, mayor, council, please.
Mhm.
I bought my house because it's the first time I was able to own a house. I got hurt really bad and I came to Benton because I was like, what a great little town this is. I paid cash for my house. I did my research. I called the police. Can you tell me about the neighborhood? Oh, it's a good neighborhood. The week before I moved in, that house burned down. I moved in February of 2022. Now that's how long this has been going on, since 22. And now we're in 2025. Enough is enough. I have to worry at night. I worry. I've had my door kicked in at my house. I have had things stolen off of my property. I have had my property vandalized, my windows broken. I'm tired of it. And it's all because it's a massive drug traffic going to that house. At any given time, you've seen pictures, there's one standing.
And you
and
said the
she's
address is
waving at
312
Yeah,
Buchanan?
and I would also like to play this for you. This, when you arrested her, this woman was in a drug-induced rampage. This is what I listened to for 2 days straight.
You know what, you need to bring that at a different time, ma'am.
Oh, wow.
I think you guys should listen to it. You say you serve the public. I think this is what the public deals with. This is a nice, wonderful town. You look on all the reviews online about what Benton is, how great it is, but then this is what we allow. I mean, what am I, like I said, I don't wanna come back
Well,
in
and
2
you-
years and tell you my son just tested positive for
And-
HIV because he stepped on a drug needle, because they're throwing them on my property, because I keep calling the police on them, and it's their way of retaliation. I don't wanna come and stand at you guys.
What do
and blame
what
you.
does the police tell you? What do they do?
They go and they talk to them, and then they leave. It's the same situation every
But you said
single
that she's
time.
been arrested multiple times.
She was
She's
a-
been put in
yeah.
and pushed back out.
She was arrested, 45 minutes later, she came walking down. Your sheriff, Kyle Bacon, came into that house. I've never seen him, you never see him out patrolling like that. Came into the house and had to drag this woman out in handcuffs, and she would not walk, to the point they picked her up and threw her in the back of the cop car. I mean, at some point, enough is enough, because I will protect my child with my life. If the people that pay taxes and we work to this community, and I walk over to the park all the time with my nephew. I have went and picked up trash at the park to try and help keep this place clean. I love this town, but if we're gonna let the drug addicts who do nothing but run it overtake it and have such a say, what do the people that actually live here and benefit this town?
There's a lot of layers, and a lot of what I mentioned under old business is stuff that we're trying to tackle. So I need that, so thank you for the address, because that's address we can share with the chief, that they gotta have the things that they need to be able to do that, and that's drug task force can step into there. We get our zoning person certified to condemn buildings, like, there's things in place that'll make that happen.
That will be the
And-
big thing, to get him certified to go into a building.
And condemn it.
Condemn it. That's it.
Because the only one that we have that can condemn a building currently is the fire chief,
Yes.
and that's if it is a direct threat to public safety. And
Right.
I understand what you're saying, but we're, in that situation, he can only condemn buildings that are falling,
Yeah,
like,
If
But my
there's
thing is-
brick off falling off the front of a building into the street,
Yeah.
that's the kind of
That's
stuff.
the one
they
thing
bring
we can do.
barbecue grills into the house, and you can see it through the front door, and light fires inside this house. What happens when they catch this house on fire and my house sits 10 feet from it, and it's the middle of the night and I'm trying to sleep and my house catches fire and burns down? What do? Are you guys gonna pay to put me in a new house? No, I'm gonna be left on my own, and the drug addicts will be free to go run into another house. Like, there was a house down the road that the drug addicts were living in, and it burned down, and we were all out there watching it, and the fire chief stood there and said, let it burn, because it'll keep them out of it. And I believe you guys know which one that is. It's the big pile that got caution tape around
We
it.
cannot let it burn. We
They
can't.
let it burn completely.
Well,
Well,
I know.
if there's extenuating circumstances of reasons why, and it's unsafe to go in, or it's unsafe to get too close to it, there are legit reasons why they have to let it do that, but, and
Officer Pemberton had been in that house previously and had actually fallen through the floor
Yeah.
of the house you're speaking
Yeah.
of, which is why they didn't enter, because I was there that day. I showed up that day. You had a risk to the firefighters entering. They did their best to make sure that there was nobody, in harm's way inside the building, and they made the decision to not send anyone in because you don't know what you're going to step on or find or fall through, and with a basement full of water and a rotting floor, that's dangerous to our men and other departments
If
entering
you
in.
ask any of the
And-
people that live around that house, they'll all say they're extremely happy it's burned down, because
I'm sure
nobody
they are.
goes in it no more.
And,
Yeah.
and let me backtrack. When I made the comment about due process, that's the court standing. That's why it takes so long when we cite them.
Okay, but it's been 2 years. I'm gonna interrupt you now. As a homeowner and a taxpayer, why is it taking 2.5 years to get this into court? That building is not fit to be lived in. It is charred on the inside, but yet you guys are still allowing them. They boarded up the windows. There's no electricity, there's no water, there's no sewer.
I mean,
So
you can
why are
see
they
it.
allowed to stay there? Because any place else that I've ever lived in my life, they would not be in there. But I'm also gonna tell you, I'm disappointed with the police department here. I love Officer Pendleton, Chief Funkhauser. We have Officer Filkins, he's my buddy. I love that man. I would bend over backwards for him. But at the same point in time, we're so sorry. We can't do nothing. As a taxpayer, you have no idea. I've come to the point, they come on my lawn now, I tell them, get off of my lawn or you're gonna find out what's gonna happen. And I guess I'm gonna have to wait and find out what happens, because I'm not dealing with this anymore. I don't want them around. I got the ones that were in her house that we completely remodeled, gutted it, remodeled it. They were meth heads too. I finally got them out of there.
well,
Now we have this house next door.
that was part of the conversation we had last week, is the officers going in saying, come to City Hall. that there should be more that happens before it gets to that point. And that was part of the conversation we had Monday.
We also need to go, I'm
Yeah.
advocating to the government too, because this cashless bail crap needs to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was kind of my
sorry.
point earlier, when she cycles in and cycles right back out.
I mean, she had a residential burglary charge. I have the app online. I watch your guys' app. And she had just been arrested the day before, let out, gets a residential burglary that night, goes to court the next day and is out. What's the point of taking them to jail? You're giving them a vacation to sober up for the night so they can get back out and go get on a nice dope run?
Talk to Bacon, that he has the same
He's
same
only-
frustration.
It's not only.
I
He has the same, and we all have that same frustration, so.
I will do, and
So-
I don't, not to be rude to anyone here if they say anything, but I'll be the first one to call DEA on them. I don't care. Cause I've had them come over and physically try to fist fight me and I told them, I'll just shoot you. I don't care. I mean, I'm gonna tell you straight. Mayor, I love y'all. I love y'all here. But they come at me, someone's gonna
You
get
can
hurt.
defend yourself, yeah.
I'm gonna defend myself at this point in time.
Well, so I've got the address, got the information, and because last council meeting, we had some folks express some similar concerns about a different piece of property. We put things into place that we hope will address that and alleviate that, because that's not what we want. And that's not that's why I reached out to he and the chief both and said, guys, we gotta sit down and come up with some
If
solutions.
they're on your property, get them for no trespassing. They can't come on.
I do it all the time
So,
and the
I
police
will-
let
I
it
will
go.
talk to the police department and tomorrow, I will.
They have said multiple times, the only way to get them out is for you guys to condemn the house. When you condemn it, they can go in.
We're working
but
on
they
that.
can't go in.
We're working
Fair,
on
fair.
that.
is there anyone else has anything else?
You can see, we're very upset about this, but I appreciate all the Campbell,
Nothing.
all of the council members. Thank you very much.
Rezone.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, thank you.
so much.
It's 3:12.
I'm at 3:10, she's at 3:07.
Well, if there's nothing else, we just need a motion to
I
adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn.
Is there nothing, no public comment, you're just here for support?
That's my daughter.
Oh, I didn't make that connection. My
Is
apologies.
she the one I scared the other day?
I don't know if anybody did.
Don and Coy.
Don and Coy?
Okay, Commissioner Cochran. Commissioner Story.
Yes.
Commissioner Garvelia.
Yes.
Commissioner Case. Mayor Messersohn.
Yes.
There you go. You guys have anything?
No, we're here for the rezoning. We're.
Yeah, they're,
Oh, you're my neighbor.
they're our neighbors,
You're my
Dawn.
neighbor.